I'm an old bankruptcy lawyer from Auburn, California, and I have some words of encouragement for those of you that are struggling and suffering in the current economy. Years ago, when I first started practicing bankruptcy law, I used to keep a whole stack of books to give to my bankruptcy clients. It was a copy of a book by Dr. Vincent Peale called The Power of Positive Thinking. I wish that I could still get those and give those to my bankruptcy clients. Unfortunately, the book has gone out of print, which is a real tragedy because it was a wonderful, life-changing book. In fact, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me when I was a young man was that someone gave me a copy of that book and I finally sat down and read it. It did change my life. There is a story in that book. You can still find used copies of that book in used bookstores and on the internet, by the way, and it might be a good idea for you to go track one down and buy it and read it. But just in case you can't find it, I want to share with you one story that Norman tells in one of the early chapters of that book. He tells a story of a man who came to one of his presentations one night and stayed after and came up to him afterwards and said, "Dr. Peale, I have just been wiped out. Financially, I have lost everything, and I feel like my life is over and I have nothing left to live for. I'm 52 years old. The business that I spent my whole life building up is gone. I'm too old to start over. I'm just down and out and defeated, and I have nothing left. I'm wiped out. I don't know what to do, doctor. I'm desperate." Dr. Peale said, "You have nothing left? You've lost everything?" And he says, "Yes, I've lost everything." And Dr. Peale says, "Well, let's take a piece of paper and let's re-examine that for a moment. First, do you still have your wife? Is your wife still with you?" And he said, "Yes, my wife is still with me. We've been married 30-something years, and that's one of the greatest blessings in my life. My wife has stood by me." He said, "Well, let's put that down on the paper as number one then. You actually do have some blessings and some assets. Your wife is still with you. Do you have children?" He says, "Yes, I have 3 children, and they're grown now, and they're wonderful, and they all said, 'Dad, we love you, and we will stand by you no matter what.'" And Dr. Peale said, "Well, wow, there's number 2 on the list. Good children." He said, "Do you have friends?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got some pretty good friends, and most of them have stood by me even during my difficult financial crisis." Dr. Peale said, "Well, there you've got friends. That's 3 things on your list." He says, Dr. Peale says to the man, "Do you still have your integrity?" And he says, "Well, yes, I do. I haven't done anything wrong. My integrity is good." And Dr. Peale said, "Well, that's 4 things. You've got your integrity." He said, "Do you live?" Or he said, "Do you have your health?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm still in pretty good health. For a 52-year-old man, I'm in good health." And Dr. Peale said, "Well, that's a real blessing. That's 5 things now on the list. You've got your health." He said, "Now, do you live in the United States of America? And do you believe that that's the greatest country in the world, a land of opportunity?" And the man said, "Yes, I do. I live in the United States of America, and I do believe that. Even with the problems that we've been having, it's still the greatest country in the world and the land of opportunity." And Dr. Peale said, "Well, there's 6 things then. You live in the greatest country in the world." And he said, "Now, do you believe in God, and do you believe that God will help you with your struggles?" And the man said, "Well, yes, Dr. Peale, I do. I believe in God, and I believe that God will help me." And Dr. Peale said, "Well, you've got a pretty good list going here. You've got 7 pretty wonderful things. A wife, 3 wonderful children, good friends. You still have your integrity. You still have your health. You live in the greatest country in the world, the land of opportunity. And you believe in God, and you believe that God will help you. That's a pretty good list of starting assets. I'd say you're in pretty good shape for starting over again. Get up get back on your feet and get going." And the man took Dr. Peale's advice and he got going. And Peale's point, the point that Peale makes in that chapter is that attitudes are even more important than facts. Let's face it, the facts are we're in pretty rough shape in this country right now. The economy is bad. But I still know, and I bet you still know, people that are making pretty good money and doing all right. The difference between them and the ones that are down and out, sometimes it's beyond your control, but sometimes it's just a matter of attitude. One of the, I teach business law, and I have some tape recorded, videotaped interviews of very successful business people I know that I show to my students. And one of them is of a woman who bought a small retail store in a small town during a bad economic times, and in less than 2 years she tripled the gross sales of that store. When you play the videotape of her interview, you know how and why within a matter of a few minutes. She's a wonderful networker, and she did go out and survey her customers and find out what they wanted and orient her store towards what the customers wanted. Yes, she was good at marketing, a savvy business person, but that doesn't hold a candle to the single most important thing about her that made her a business success. She has this tremendous, vibrant, joyful, happy, positive attitude about life. People just want to be around her because she's like a ray of sunshine. I know it's tough to be a ray of sunshine when the darkness and the gloom and the oppression of economic bad times are hovering all about you. But isn't that who you really want to be? And isn't who you are really more a matter of simply what you choose to express in life and who you choose to be, rather than your external circumstances? My prayer for you is that you choose to be an expression of joy even in these bad times, so that you become a gift to everyone around you, and that you choose to believe that you have a list of incredible assets too. Even if you've lost everything and you're flat broke, there are some rich blessings that you've still got. Make a list of the blessings that you've still got. Get back on your feet and get going. America is going to turn around and get going. You don't want to be left behind. You get going too. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I love you, and so does Jesus Christ. Bye.